This is the Black Jewish Thesis, revisited by Ron Cohen, okay? Department of Literature, Tel Aviv University, okay? At Yofo, Israel, okay? This is in June 2018 to July 2018, okay? He said, abstract, the notion that in previous centuries Jews were considered to be black or seen as blacks has gained broad acceptance in scholarly discourse on the Jewish body since the early 1990s. The present article considers the notion analytically and then explains some of the evidence provided to support it. Much of the evidence does not stand critical examination. Therefore, arguably, the notion of Jewish blackness should be reconsidered. Okay? This is the crux of the hookup here. He said that the notion of Jewish blackness, the notion of blackness of the Jews or Jewish blackness have gained commonplace in scholarly discourse, going back to the path-breaking work of Sanders L. Gilman in the late 1980s. Scholars often assert that the strong European tradition dating back to the Middle Ages maintained that the Jews were black, or at least swarthy, and find sharp expression in modern anti-Semitic literature. That in medieval literature, and therefore prevailed, in which the Jews were part of the black race, or were at least dark-skinned, or that the general look of the Jews was considered to be like that of the black. We're looking for parfait. Okay, Shiva 2000. You see my references. I shouldn't even have to read them because they're there. The article is meant as a caveat or a question mark on the prevailing notion. One issue with the notion is ambiguity. Jewish blackness sometimes means that the Jews were quite literally seen as black, which is a matter of color, but more often, more provocative sense is implied. Namely, that in the eyes of the non-Jew who define them in Western society, the Jew becomes the blacks. Let's scroll on down to some of his work here. And we're going to go back to what Portuguese Jews look like. Okay? And this article is by an Iraqi Jew. Okay? And we're examining the evidence here. The earliest is Francois Maximilian Maisson in 1650-1722, whose ideas influenced Buffon's natural history. Maisson's travel guide to Italy is quoted in the English translation of 1714. So we going back from the 1650s in which this was quoted. It said, this is a vulgar error that the Jews are all black, for this is only true for the Portuguese Jews. Again, back in the 1600s, Francois Maximilian Maisson said, this is a vulgar error that the Jews are all black, for this is only true for the Portuguese Jews, who marrying always amongst one another, begat children like themselves, and consequently the swarthiness of their complexion is entailed upon their whole race, even in the southern regions. But the Jews who were originally in Germany, those, for example, I have seen a plague, are not blacker than the rest of their countrymen.